Welcome to ERL's track guide for round 2, which was moved from Spain to Austria. So it seems that Barcelona track has a bump glitch, which consists of a bump which may appear randomly during the race session, and it's on the sector 3. I think it's the same place where the bump has been since the launch of the game, and it will indeed unsettle your rights. So, in order to provide a fair competing ground to all ERL drivers, this round was moved to Austria, and we'll try to do a track guide here for Austria. So, like the previous track guide, we will do a TT lap with the setup for the Grand Prix session, and we'll then do a GP session just to cover some aspects of the race. As for Austria, so the usual applies here. This is a track where track limits will be quite the issue. Since it's a short track, you'll do more laps, which means more times going around those corners. And here in Austria, almost every place is a track limits hazard. So consistency will indeed play a big part. So let's start the lap. Remember, this lap was do not focus on the lap time, which for TT reality is not indeed a competitive lap time. Remember that this was done with the race setup, and we'll try to focus on what you should do on the race. Okay, here goes. So, same as last year, for this one you will try to gain everything you can from the left curb. In order to cut that corner, you have to really go to that apex aggressively. Bear in mind that for braking zones that are going uphill, you can brake later than usual because the uphill part will help you slow down the car. This is a braking zone where braking is harsh, but you can't keep the braking pedal pressed. You need to do a very strong input and then immediately start releasing it to get the rotation for the corner. Fourth gear is advised here for more stability, and you should try to get back into full throttle before the end of the corner. If you are going on a stable ride in the good racing line, the car will correspond. Okay, for this one, two advices. In fact, three. The first one is similar to T1. It's an uphill braking zone, which means you can actually brake later than you think. Braking after the 100-meter board is difficult but possible. However, for this one, you need to keep the braking pedal pressed longer than before because the need for deceleration will be bigger. The second advice is flick your brake bias into 2 points more. As you know, brake bias will help you with stopping power. If you flick it towards the front, the car will have a more acute stopping power with increased danger of locking up. If you move it towards the rear, the car will kind of dance a little more under braking, which helps the car and to rotate when entering the corners. So for this one, it's perhaps not perhaps, this is indeed the hardest braking zone of the track, although the braking for T4 is also very hard. But this one you can actually benefit from flicking the brake bias upwards by 2 points. Just don't forget to return it to the current setting. If you have a shortcut on your wheel for brake bias, take advantage of it. So brake after the 100-meter board, decelerate the car before downshift, otherwise the car will rear snap, and then try to go from 8th to 3rd in order to attack the apex and then prepare for the difficult exit, which leads us to our third advice. Since it's a difficult, uh, um, since it's a very difficult corner exit, going into overtake when the car is stable may help you gain a little more on that exit. Okay, for this one, it's the opposite advice. So if a uphill braking zone will help you, a downhill braking zone will be more difficult. The car will be harder to decelerate. So this one is a place where if you uh, push it too hard on your braking zone, I mean brake too late, you will fail the corner, and when you try to overcompensate, you might end up losing your rear. So respect the braking zone here, and although it doesn't seem like it, it's indeed the 100 meter board. It will look like it's too early to brake, but when you start going for the corner, you actually notice that it's if you brake any later, it will be more difficult to clip the apex. You should go to third gear. Third gear is better for rotation, but if you manage good turning capacity on fourth, it's also a good option. But for me, third gear is a better option. Try to return to the throttle as soon as you can, and also as soon as you exit the corner, focus on going as much as you can to the right to shape off some path on your lap time. Okay, so here, great part of the track, but also a place where track limits are at hand because it's so easy to overshoot here. My advice, if you're not feeling confident, try a little more conservative approach. It's best to lose some tenths than to have 3 second time penalty. You should reach this point either in sixth or seventh gear, but you'll need to do the corner in fifth. Hug the left curb, and it's all about feeling tires biting the track so you can press your throttle to the max. This corner, it's all about understanding when you can return to 100% throttle application because the car will correspond. If you nail the racing line and a good grip level, the car will correspond, will complete the corner even if you are going full throttle. I actually failed the apex here. Okay, so for this one, little trick. When the curve finishes, you see that small piece of tarmac, use it. Take it to gain a better entering angle for the corner. But watch out because if you excess it, you will have track limits invalidation. So it's the same principle as before. Fifth gear, hug that left curb, and as soon as you feel it biting, press down that throttle, you will make the corner. Sometimes you may even grind your teeth because it will look like it's going to slip, but it's the only way to do this corner. You need to have full commitment here. Take as much curb as you can on the right without invalidating, and as soon as you can, straighten the car in order to start going forward on that next part of the track. Okay, for this part, small trick. I think it's better if you reach this area on 8th gear. I think it helps with your braking instead of reaching this point with an extended 7th gear. But in order to do so, you'll need to deploy a little bit of overtake. So right around here, deploy overtake if you have battery, of course, just to the point where you can upshift to 8th gear. You can then turn it off and keep it on that gear. Very subtle and controlled braking input. Decrease it to 6th gear, then it's all about the path you take and taking as much as you can from the track without going over the track limit. Okay, so you should focus on finishing the corner with your car like this because this will give you the optimal attacking point for the final corner. For the final corner, I think it's best to brake earlier than you think, earlier than it seems, so you can clip that apex with a little more safety without going over the track limits. Also, although there is a big sausage curb there, this is a point where you can actually take advantage of the curb. For me, the best is to reach this point on extended sixth gear, go down to fourth, and as soon as you feel it nailing the track, press that throttle down and prepare to chase your opponents or run from them if you are going P1. Whoa. Um, so sorry, I am sorry, I gave you the best lap of the session, which is supposed to be a valid lap, but it seems that I went a little overboard here. Um, so sorry, I run cockpit cam. When I do the laps, I had no idea. I I'm pretty sure I replayed the fastest lap, not the last lap, and this was indeed my setting. And as you know, you can't if the lap is invalidated, it will not count. Uh, oh, okay. I think I replayed not the best lap, but the last lap, which was invalidation. Okay, let me return to the fastest lap, and I will take this advantage. So the principles apply, just as I have mentioned, and I will let the lap go fully. Maybe it actually helps. Mm, okay, this probably is a TT glitch. Don't do this on Grand Prix session. On Grand Prix session, it will count as track limit invalidation. Okay, so speaking of Grand Prix session, let's head to it. Okay, so
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I'll try to. Okay, so setup. A balanced config between downforce and straight line speed. As you have probably noticed, I do not run low arrow even on tracks where it might be the best bet, but low arrow will in fact hinder you a lot on corners. So here, this is my advice. You can close in the gaps if you feel the car too unstable, but for me this provides the best balance to attack those corners and keep within the RS range of the car in front. Transmission, an aggressive transmission to take advantage of corner exits, 80-25. If you are feeling it too slippery out of corners, just decrease here, and also this one can help you enter the corner more stable. Usual here does not vary a lot too. Soft on the front, stiffer on the front, little softer on the back, a little more firmer than usual to help biting those corner exits. Anti-roll bars seem to go high on all tracks this year, and here the usual. If you want more straight line speed, reduce it, but I will not advise it here because, as you probably notice on TT, a lot of corners depend on shooing those curves as much as you can. Here, 54, don't forget to flick it on third 3 to 56 or even 57, and the usual. As per fuel, on my test run, once again, plus half a lap gives you a good approach, and for the strategy, this one seems also the finest option, but experiment, try. Strategies will also connect a lot to your driving styles and how you manage the tire wear. If you, a little tip I forgot on the last track guide, when you change for a hard tire, you need to put in a good out lap, a good push lap to get those temps on optimal range as soon as you can. Take this in mind because H tire lasts forever but takes a long time to get into the optimal window too. As per the start, same advice as always. Take care because this one, as you can see, Austria will provide a lot of action, a lot of DRS zones. For me, there's no need to place all your bets on lap 1. It will probably be bad for you and bad for your fellow drivers. If you can, try to go to the left here, even if you start on the right, but only if you can, because starting on the right is in fact worse because the T1 is very, very tight. and if you are going from the outside racing line, you will get a much better approach. But as always for lap one, your focus should really be on getting a stable run. Try to keep your position. If you can gain a position, that's awesome. But for me, risking all out when the pack is going pretty much all close together for the entire lap, you are asking for trouble. Okay, let's try.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Okay, we've lost a position. That's us down a place.
Go.
The track is clear.
Okay, hope it helps. Have a great race and hope there's nothing wrong with this track. Cheers!